What it is, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown. Welcome to the Ash Said It show. I'm so excited that you guys are here with me. Over 1,800 shows. Wow, impossible. I never in a million years. Over 100,000 downloads and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this is possible without you guys, so I thank you so very, very much. And yes, as we are on the heels of National Gluten Free Day, that was last week. That was January the 13th. I got a pretty awesome lady with me today. She is a well-accomplished speaker, authoress, and the list goes on and on. The multi-talented Clarissa Burt. Hey, Clarissa.
Well, thank you. That was kind. Thank you so much. Let's talk about gluten-free.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about the inspiration. Where did this cookbook come from?
Well, that's a great question. So I lived in Italy for 30 years, where they have pizza and pasta and pane, which is bread. And so I'm loving eating Italian, but Italian ain't loving me so much because I kept having these, what I call attacks. I would be having like full-on attacks, and the next thing you know, I would look like Shrek's wife, Fiona.
Oh, no.
I'd be like, sick, and I'd blow up, and I would. So anyway, I was having an anaphylactic shock, basically, is what was happening. So I was allergic to something for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was, and I kept going to doctor after doctor after doctor, and nobody could figure out what it was. So after I had been in, I can't tell you how many ambulances or how many times I had to be, swept off to an emergency room. A friend of mine said, let me just look this up online a minute. Well, what are your symptoms again? And I'll be darned if it didn't come out that it was gluten. Now, all of those years, I had an EpiPen with me at the ready all the time.
Right.
Because, it was in my purse, God forbid. So it was something, but, who knew? I didn't know anything about gluten back then. It was like, are you kidding me? What's that? So I learned quickly.
Yeah.
And since I had lived in Italy for 30 years, I worked in television there. So I really am lucky to be able to, co-write this book with Rita Romano, who is an Italian chef. She said, I'd love to do a book with you. I said, look, let's make it gluten-free because I've just come through this whole ordeal.
Yeah.
And I think people are just more sensitive to flour, to wheat, to all different, there's all kinds of different places you get, gluten, not just wheat. But yeah, so we made this lovely, it's a beautiful coffee table cookbook called the Italian Gluten Free Gastronomy Cookbook. You get it at clarissaburt.com.
I love it. Well, I've already gone through and I've sifted through all of my favorite recipes. This is like every other recipe is my favorite recipe.
72 different recipes in here. Each one of them comes with a beautiful picture, which is really cool. I love cookbooks with pictures. Cookbooks that don't have pictures, I'm kind of like, no.
Yeah, because it kind of makes it exciting for you. You're like, ooh, this is what I can look forward to making. It may not look exact, but it gives you an idea.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot.
It's really good. The stuff in this book is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is the easy, delicious, crusty bread. Oh my gosh, I'm a bread girl. I love a good bread.
Oh, are you?
I am.
That's perfect then. Yeah, then that's perfect. See, I'm not as much, I love bread, as much stuff. I'm definitely not that much of a pasta person.
Right.
You can't live in Italy for 30 years and not eat pasta.
No.
It's at every table and every meal. So that was kind of a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I absolutely love a bread recipe in here, but I'm also big on zucchini and eggplant and the sweet pepper on page 131, which I think is just off the charts. It's just so good. And then there are lots of salads in here. Definitely we have our meat in here, but obviously you're not using regular breadcrumbs, right? So you've got to get the gluten-free breadcrumbs on that. Or turkey meatballs. Yes, I love meatballs. That sort of thing. Turkey meatballs, that's really good. So I'm telling you, there's not one recipe in here you're not going to go crazy for.
I know.
You are.
But I wanted to know, how did you pick which recipes to put in the book?
Well, we sat down with Rita, and we had to figure out, okay, what does come out really well when you're using a wheat flour substitute? Because when you go down the path of either an almond flour, a rice flour, there are different, kinds of gluten-free flours that you can absolutely use. Coconut flour, I've used them all. In fact, I use them all on a daily basis. You have to make sure that they're going to adhere well to that recipe and hold their own. So that's when we kind of said, okay, we definitely want to have the antipasto. We want to have the first course. We want to have a second course. And for me, I definitely need to have some desserts in there.
Yes.
So she made sure, and she really did a great job on this. She did the She did all the beautiful pictures, the imagery that are in here. It's all her. And I worked on the formatting. So the font, the colors, the feel. So it was really a great, collaboration between Rita Romano and myself to bring, people that are either celiac or that are gluten-free, some reprieve and say, yes, I can eat, Italian food. Because Italian always precludes gluten.
Yeah, it does. It usually always does. And what I love most about this book is the recipes are super easy to follow. Like, I don't feel like I have to be like a sous chef to make the stuff.
Real simple stuff. Very simple, few ingredients. We did that on purpose because, we also wanted to be really sensitive to, our lifestyles. And we're moving quickly. I don't know. I have another minute in my day. I don't know about anybody else, but I just can't. Like a chicken with my head cut off, or the proverbial one-arm paper hanger. So busy as we all are, we wanted to make them also very simple but really tasty. Really good. This, I'm telling you, these are really good. And I love the byline for the book, which is the Italian Gluten Free Gastronomy Cookbook, the art of selecting, preparing, and savoring gluten-free meals. Again, we just took it was really well curated. When you start, sinking your teeth into this, see what I did there? You're absolutely going to love this book.
Yes.
This cookbook.
Oh my goodness. And you gave such great ideas. Like, I was going through the book, and one of the recipes that really just kind of pulled me in was the pizzelle. I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought about getting a pizzelle iron.
Rita.
Oh my gosh.
I don't care what you do, but you must. I can't even tell you how many pizzelles I made at Christmas time. But I absolutely had to have the pizzelles. Yeah, had to have the pizzelles.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that something? I love those. And so easy to make. You have to have a pizzelle iron. But you can get them at Amazon. On Amazon. Yeah.
That's what I was finding out. I was like, oh my gosh, why did I not know this? I was really ashamed.
It's so simple. It's just like making a waffle, right? You have a waffle iron. Well, there's a special pizzelle iron, and you go and you get it, and boom, next thing you know, I just adore pizzelle. I think I'm going to go melt some butter right now.
Yes, that is good stuff. So, Clarissa, where can people go to get this book?
You're going to go clarissaburt.com/shop. It's just such a good book. You really have to get it because, and again, this is really good, by the way. You don't have to eat gluten-free or be celiac. I love the recipes in this book. This is for everybody, but certainly with the gluten-free or what I am called gluten intolerant and celiac in mind.
Yes. And what's the best way for people to follow you on social media?
Well, I'm everywhere except Snapchat. So, at Clarissa Burt, you can find me at Clarissa Burt Official on Facebook, Twitter, Clarissa Burt, LinkedIn, Clarissa Burt. Where else do we have? Instagram, Clarissa Burt.
Right. Clarissa, thank you so much for coming through today. I so appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.